Well, that's the expert's point of view, but what about the people on the ground? As we heard earlier, there were very angry scenes in Griffith when the last draft report into Murray-Darling Basin reform was released. Our reporter Mike Sexton has returned to Griffith and I asked him what the mood was today.
Lee, it's certainly been a different atmosphere this time around. So far, we haven't seen any of the public outrage of 12 months ago, certainly no book burning yet. I think that's just because there's been no focus, haven't been any public meetings yet. And that's a deliberate strategy by the Basin Authority to try to pace things a little. Water Minister Tony Burke will be in Deniliquin tomorrow, then he comes here to Griffith for what his office describes as a small and private meeting. Now there'll be a very large public meeting here on December the 15th. And between now and then, irrigators across the New South Wales riverina are gathering to read the report, to discuss it and to vent.
There may not have been any public meetings scheduled today in Griffith, but in the kitchen of John Ward's farm, 24 farmers gathered over tea and scones to discuss the plan and its implications for them.
It all seems to be predicated towards running water out at the mouth of the Murray.
In the room were generations of families who fear their region will face the heaviest cuts under the Murray-Darling Basin plan.
It's creating a lot of uncertainty in the younger community, and whether it be in business or farming.
If it's going to run on until 2019, we've already got to contend with the weather, without alone, which is unpredictable.
As far as I can see this 2019 business, Tony Burke's asking us to walk the plank. It doesn't matter if we take 5 years to do it or 2 months, the outcome's the same.
The Murrumbidgee irrigation area will soon celebrate a century of farming, during which it's grown into one of Australia's most significant agricultural areas. It produces, among other things, 1/4 of the nation's wine grapes and 90% of its rice.
The synergy between agricultural, community and water it's a lifeblood. What comes into one goes through the other, and in terms of business, most of it, if not all of it, is underpinned by the agricultural dollar and the food and fibre producers.
This morning's headline reflects the fear that farms will lose access to irrigation water as the Murray-Darling Basin Authority tries to find a balance between the demands of human consumption and the needs of the environment to keep the rivers healthy. But the first query of the plan is the absence of detail on environmental flows.
You know, where is the modelling? Where is the triple bottom line analysis? Where is the environmental watering plan? You would think that you would have to have this sort of modelling underneath any sort of plan like this. But in this plan that has been released today, we see none of that. Nothing has changed 13 months on, despite the communities engaging in the process and talking to the people, talking to Knowles, talking to Burke. Nothing has changed.
Because the tightness of the community has been its strength over the years, the farmers in the New South Wales riverina fear they will lose that strength if water allocations are reduced and licence holders decide to sell up.
This uncertainty in going out to 2019, as it's been announced, will continue to impact on the existence of farming in this area. I mean, a lot of the younger farmers will look to leave the industry, and many are already. Many of the parents are just going to finish off the farm and sell to whomever and get out of the industry.
It's a smack in the face, again, to the food-producing people who are very proud of what they do.
The Basin Plan has a long timeline, with 20 weeks of consultation, followed by a review in 2015, before final implementation in 2019. If initial reactions in Griffith are anything to go by, it could be a long and bumpy road.
There's some evidence in the plan that they've listened somewhat to some of the input that's been had over the last 12 months, but in all honesty, the level of angst that we're seeing, particularly at Deniliquin and at Griffith last year, I think that'll pale into insignificance if the right result doesn't occur. I mean, obviously, people here are in the fight of their lives. Their community, and certainly those around us, is underpinned by water and agriculture. Primary production is important to us, and they'll fight for it.
And Mike Sexton will stick around in Griffith tomorrow to find out how the locals react to the visit by the Water Minister, Tony Burke.